With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
You're listening to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where best friends recap romance novels while squeeing and swooning over queer representation in fictional sports.
Stack our shelves with the clinches out. Shout it from the rooftop, can you hear the sound? Yeah. Live your best life, love it out loud. Love it out loud.
Hey HBs, when we left off yesterday, team management had just decided to put these two enemies turned pranksters in the same hotel room at away games. More forced proximity? In private? Oh, whatever shall they do?
Love it out loud. Love it out loud. Love it out loud.
The next day, Coach is sick of their prank shit.
Yeah,
And it's decided that they're roommates now for away games.
like, this seems like a weird choice on management's part, but like, I'm into it. Hashtag romance reasons.
This makes total sense. Now they can prank
Yeah.
each other in the privacy of their
private.
own room. And by prank, I mean dick each other out real good.
Yeah,
You know?
in all the directions, frankly. Out,
All
down,
of
up,
them.
sideways.
And also, now there's a bunch of rumors out there going around about their bromance being actually a romance, but there's also rumors that they're just friends. There's rumors that this is all fake and they're secretly still like hated enemies to each
Yeah.
other. Like the public can't decide
There are a
what
bunch
they
of
think is
speculation.
going on. It's like any celebrity gossip.
And Ezra takes it to Anton and he's like, listen, it's getting like people are making more connections than I know you're comfortable with. So like, if you want to be out, I'm okay with that. And in his inner monologue, he's like, I'm really not, because I'm not done with him. And I don't think I'm going to be done with him for a while. But Anton's like, no, I've always like balanced my decisions with the knowledge that I might have to come out as a result.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same calculus. Like, I want to keep doing this.
Guess what, listener? It's not just away games. They start sneaking around at home too and like staying the night with each other and going to each other's apartments
Yeah.
and spending.
Anton asks him over for Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
And they do Thanksgiving together. They go bareback for the first time at Thanksgiving. And Anton says, I trust you.
Yes.
And Ezra's like, what
They
are we doing?
Ezra has also decided though
Yeah.
that every game that they have sex before they win,
Yeah.
and every game that they don't have sex before, they lose. And because Ezra is just a teensy bit the first prank was Anton putting that black cat stuffed animal in
That's
Ezra's
what it
locker.
was.
That's what it was. Because Ezra
what it
is,
was.
again, very suspicious or superstitious.
Uh-huh.
And they do end up losing that game. And boy, Ezra is so mad at Anton.
He's so mad. Yeah, he's like, you want to keep fucking with the hockey gods now? Is that what you want to do? Oh my God, I dated a hockey fan for a little while, and I went to a live game with them at one point, and I had to zigzag all around the stadium because they refused to walk like in between columns because that would mess with the hockey juju, is what they said. I was like, okay, let's go.
I have a lot of logistical questions.
I don't really have a lot of answers for you other than I got my steps in that day.
Okay. How is it possible to not walk between a single set of columns?
I don't know.
I wonder
didn't really
if
see
it's
the
like
rhyme or reason.
I wonder if it's like a distance thing. Like if they're this far apart from each other, then it
I
doesn't.
wasn't going to ask for the breakdown because I really didn't need like a whole chalkboard experience, you know?
Wow, Melody.
I just followed. I was just the duckling that day.
You and I are such different people. I would have followed, but by God, you are giving me an explanation to
That was
this.
like the third thing. It was like they only wore a specific set of socks to every live game, and like they washed the jersey that they wore at some point that I can't even remember, but like washing the jersey was a thing. And like it was a whole hockey thing that I still don't understand, but it's the fans too. It's not just the players.
It's definitely not just the players. So they're just so cute. They're so cute. So Ezra's starting to feel a little bit insecure about all of this, though, because he's never been interested in He also, so his history is, we told you about his dad, but his mom, oh my God, they were both so toxic with each other because she was a puck bunny. And then he and she got married.
They had a quickie marriage because of the pregnancy.
She gives
They
birth.
found out they fucking hated each other to death.
Divorced almost immediately.
Yeah. And the only time the dad was around was to come and yell at him at the rink to be like, work harder. Also, here's more equipment. What hockey camp do I need to pay for next?
Yeah. And so he's pretty sensitive about some things, right? Like specifically, he doesn't really believe in love, at least not for him.
Yeah.
And relationships, just he doesn't want any part of it. But he started to get a little bit insecure because he's noticed that Anton doesn't treat him like any other player. He specifically is holding him at a distance. He doesn't hold other players on their team at. And he brings it up to Anton. He's like, so what? Are you just like slumming it with me until like somebody better comes along? And Anton is like, no, I'm not slumming. I didn't mean to make you feel that way. Like, Anton took it so well.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
But Ezra's like, I think it wouldn't hurt for the team to know that we're at least friends.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have to act like I have the plague in public.
Yes.
That would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
And Anton does. And so he asks him at one point to their captain's like a baby celebration because the wife is pregnant again. And so Anton asks him to go with him, like drive there together.
Very importantly, the reason that they can drive there together is because Ezra stayed the night at Anton's house.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this was super cute because while Ezra's dealing with all of this, he thinks to himself, people, relationships, love, I don't want any of it. Except when he leans over and presses a kiss to the top of my head, I'm starting to suspect that I really, really do. Ezra!
And Anton is realizing something else, too, because ever since that first kiss, when they were having sex in the hotel room, he thinks to himself, like, I would think that kisses, when they aren't related to, like, sex, would be held for, like, boyfriends and not, you know, friends with benefits. But he's realizing, like, Ezra's just a really, really tactile, affectionate person because he's kissing Anton at any opportunity he possibly can.
All the time. He comes up and kisses him in the kitchen. He gives him little smooches in the hallway. And so Anton's thinking to himself, it's interesting because he doesn't think that Ezra is like specifically looking for sex when he goes to hook up. Mm-hmm. He wants affection. And the only way that he's been able to get that consistently is with hookups with strangers. And that's like the safest way he's been able to do it. And so now that they're in this exclusive thing, Anton's not worried about Ezra going anywhere because he realizes the hookups were never about like getting some strange. They were about getting consistent affection. And that's what they're doing together. And it's really sweet. And then on the flip side, there's a lot of sweet going on, but there's also
a lot nasty.
There's also a time after a game where Ezra is teasing Anton about how he is going to go meet up with one of the other guys, Foster Grant, who is also a part of
in the queer collective.
Yep. And
I think he's a CU hockey guy too. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's kind of what I was figuring. Anton does look at him and say, "You're trying to get me jealous." You look so sexy when you're trying not to deck someone. Why do I always need to remind you who you belong to? His eyes fly up to meet mine and fuck. I'm still trying to think of how to make those words go away without sounding like a complete dick and making him feel bad again when he starts to smile. I think you like it, he points out, and of course, Ezra is always able to see through me. Do you like seeing me flirt with other guys, knowing that they can't have what you can? Somehow I hold back from groaning. Not the place to be having this conversation. I loosen my hold on his jersey, and then Anton can't help but subtly brush his fingers along Ezra's neck as he releases him, and he's fighting back a shiver. Ezra is, and Anton grins, and he says to Ezra, "But I give you full permission to flirt with whoever you want. We both know whose dick you're going to finish the night on." Anton haze. Sir. He's right. He's, just to be clear, he's correct.
And so now Anton's like kind of having a hard time because he wants to be friendly with Ezra in public, but the reason he hasn't been is because he knows he like kind of can't handle himself. And he thinks that if
the
he's
look on his face.
Yeah, he thinks that like he'll slip and he'll send him like a heated stare or something. And so when they're out with Foster Grant, there's like several times where Foster Grant looks over and catches Anton with his hand on his thigh and like telling him like I'll punish you later for that or something.
Ezra and Anton are bickering and bantering in front of Foster Grant. There finally comes a point where Foster's like, I don't know what y'all are in the middle of. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm gonna leave you to
Bye.
it. Have a good night.
Yeah.
And just fucks off.
As he should. So they do this Thanksgiving, and every once in a while, what? Here I am trying to motor, Sabrina.
You can't motor this, Mel. You cannot motor this.
No, look, I'm here for it all.
There is a charity gala.
The charity gala.
And they go to the charity gala together.
Yeah.
And then
they arrive together.
Yes. But
they know they're going together.
They know.
But nobody else does.
Yes. And they go there, and Ezra goes off to get a drink for both of them. But Wesley shows up, and Anton's like, oh my God, I'm having feelings. I need to talk to my bestie. So Wesley and Ezra go outside.
And Anton watches all of this. Anton sees Ezra give him like a really enthusiastic greeting and hug him, and then pull him out onto the balcony by himself. So Anton is over there having like 18,000 feelings and being like, I shouldn't go out there and interrupt them. And all I can think about is like how they used to hook up and like what that would have been like and like who did what to whom. And like, I bet they got really sweaty together. And then some other guy goes out on the balcony and Anton's like, and now I'm thinking about that guy joining in and like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Well, and part of the reason that Ezra needs to go talk to Wesley is because Anton in the car on the way there, Ezra is teasing him. And Anton looks at him and says, you really don't want to push me right now, bud, because I'm about to make you real uncomfortable. And Ezra, being Ezra, pushes. And Anton says, you're not a fuckboy, but you act like one because deep down you don't want to feel the rejection your parents inflicted on you your whole life. You treat people as disposable so they can't do it to you first. And Ezra's like,
read me for childhood trauma. Jesus.
Yeah. So like he needs to talk to his bestie. So
Anton, because now he's thinking like, I'm having feelings that it seemed like Wesley might have been having with me when I accidentally hurt him. And so I need to figure out like how he knew with Jasper and how he knew with him that he wanted more. And then like if that was different from what he has with Jasper and like all the bullshit. So he's getting like boy advice from Wesley while Anton's out there freaking out thinking they're like flirting and setting up a hookup, even though he knows that would never happen.
And also, Anton is not just thinking they're flirting out there. In his head, in his dramatized imagination, he's like, they're probably out there, and like Ezra has Wesley bent over the banister and is just railing him in front of everybody.
And now somebody's on their knees, I'm sure of it. Like it's a whole thing.
So he goes out there and
to pee in a circle around Ezra.
Yes. And he thinks to himself, he goes up to Ezra, puts his hand on Ezra's back, and then, like, puts his arm around Ezra's waist. And he thinks, Ezra is mine. I groan at the thought at doing what no one else has ever done. The thing is, I don't want to rein him in. I don't want to change him. He's light. He's attention. People are drawn to him and his larger-than-life personality. I want to wind him up and watch him fly. Not in a tornado. Then be the safe place where he can land. The one he always comes back to. I'm okay with the flirting and the teasing. The only thing I'd expect from him is commitment. Fuck. Commitment. With Ezra. What is wrong with me? Ezra is all those things and more, but I'm not. I'm cocky. I'm ego, and not in a fun way like him. How long until my possessiveness stops being hot and feels like a noose?
Never.
Anton!
But yeah, Anton.
Oh, and then he is worried about all of this and being seen in public, but he decides, fuck it, I'm staking my claim. And he asks Ezra to dance. They go in and dance together on the dance floor.
This is so sweet because Ezra's like, hey, have you thought this through? Because this might blow shit up. And Anton's like, I did mostly think it through. And like, I think I just don't care. And Ezra's like, yeah, I mean, I think people are going to get really mixed signals because while we are dancing, you do kind of look like you want to murder someone. And they're probably going to think that someone's me. So, you know, who knows what they'll think. And Anton thinks to himself, okay, must get rid of the murderous expression on my face.
Well, and then Ezra is the cutest because he's like, do you want me to, once we're done dancing, go force like Coach to dance? So that they just assume it's me being me. And Anton is like, no.
That's the sweetest, though. That's the sweetest. And then he asks Anton what he likes about him. And Anton's like,
their little compliment banter is agonizing.
Yeah, because Ezra says, I really like your hair. And Anton goes, my hair? He's like, yeah, it's soft. And then Anton's like, oh, wow, here I am over here thinking that you're fun and that you're so, you know, deep and that you think the best of everyone and you're so generous
inspirational.
And inspirational. And you care about other people and like all this bullshit. And then Ezra goes, well, hold on. I just like you. And Anton's like, I like you too. Yeah. Yeah. I know, I love them too.
Oh
and God, he tells Anton that like he was talking to Wesley about him because Anton was like, I just didn't like being forgotten. And then Ezra goes, yeah, okay, that is absolutely not what happened. Like, not even close.
And then now it's Thanksgiving. They spend Thanksgiving together. They also go unprotected for the first time, which is like, it means so much. Like, as far as Ezra is concerned, he's like, this is the one rule Anton has. And he's like, oh my God, is he even sure about this? And Anton is just,
he's
ready
worried
to take
that he made
jump.
like, yeah, but he's worried that it was like a spur of the moment, I'm having too many sexy feelings to go get a condom kind of decisions. And so Ezra's like, I just want to make sure that I'm taking care of him in that way. And I should have pushed back and I should have checked more. And so he asks him about it. And Anton's like, no, I told you I trust you. And then he leans over and gives him a kiss. And he says, but thank you. Thank you for thinking about my feelings and, you know, how I felt about everything.
And then
Ezra goes, does this mean that we can go without condom all the time? And Anton's like, fuck yeah, it is. Yeah.
And then because Ezra is a needy little shit, he's like, he keeps giving him hell because Anton, he's not allowed to stay the night. And then finally Anton caves though, and he's like, so listen, the reason that you can't stay the night is because I'm actually not going to be here this afternoon. I do a lot of charity work without anybody ever knowing. Do you want to come with me?
I thought it might be fun to do together. And Ezra's like, you're on. Yeah,
well,
let's go.
Not only that, he's like, you don't tell anybody. Nobody knows about this. Nobody knows about this secret charity work that you do. And Anton's like, No, they don't. This is just for me.
He says, one of the homeless shelters, I think, have recognized me, but they respect my privacy, so they haven't told anyone.
And the important part of this, though, is Ezra going, I know now.
And he's like, you're telling me? And Anton's like, yeah, I told you I trust you. And so he's letting him into like all the parts of his
private
life.
soft parts.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So they do. And then Ezra's like, I never would have thought this, but like playing delivery driver and packing boxes back and forth and doing all this shit with Anton was so fun.
And now, listener.
Oh, everything goes to hell.
The winning streak is over. And Anton is thinking to himself, does this mean that Ezra is going to end this? Because apparently us having sex is not good luck anymore. Meanwhile, Ezra is like, how do I tell Anton that I want to keep having sex even though we're losing now?
Yeah.
And it turns into a thing because so Ezra's dad, piece of shit, only calls him when he has lost a game or failed at something. And Ezra's already down and freaking out because he doesn't know how to tell Anton that he doesn't want this to end.
Yeah, because he also doesn't want to face the rejection if Anton's like, no, I'm not, of course I'm not serious about you. You're not a person that can be serious, you know?
Yes. And then, so Ezra gets a call from his dad and he answers in the locker room. It's a whole shit show. Boy, his dad is a real piece of work. Yeah. And then he is really upset and Anton tries to talk to him and Ezra pushes him away because that's what he does. He doesn't know how to handle emotions, basically. Vulnerability, really.
Right. And he wants Anton to fight for him. He wants it to be proven. He wants Anton to prove the fact that he wants him. And Anton, meanwhile, is like, he has the same fear of rejection, and he also doesn't want to push just in case, like, that becomes the straw that breaks the camel's back. And so he's like, hey, do you want to wait for me while I shower and we can go back to my place? And Ezra says, I don't really see the point.
Yeah.
And then Anton's like, what? And he says, come on, Hayes. We both know what this was, and we're not winning anymore.
Anton says, if you really think that after all this time I was only a superstition, then I've been giving you too much credit. If you want to stop sleeping together, say it. Don't use some good luck fuck bullshit as an excuse. Yeah. I told you. Oh my God. And then Ezra says he thinks he's a foster boyfriend. That's what he is, because he says, I told you early on that I'm temporary. He says each word carefully, like he's trying to make a point, that I'm no one's forever home.
Oh.
Ooh, and Anton is so mad. Or is it Ezra that walks out? One of them walks out. No, this is the end of the combo.
The important part of this part, though, is that somebody asks Ezra if he's coming out, and he says, no, I'm going home alone. And then he stomps out of the locker room. So Anton goes home, and he finally can't handle it anymore. And he's like, fuck this. I'm going to go over, and I'm going to talk to him, and we're going to figure this out together because that's what we do. God damn it. And as he's pulling up to his building, he sees somebody coming down the sidewalk, and he realizes that it is Ezra and this kid on the opposing team who, like, he's like a cutie pants. His name is Ari Quinn.
And Ezra's like, turned on the charm.
Yeah, Ezra looks like he's like bantering and stuff. And then he holds the door open for Ari Quinn to go into his building. And he's like, wait a second. He said out loud that he was going home alone. And then he brings home Ari Quinn. What the fuck is this? Listener,
he goes home. We zippy zap to the next morning with Ezra waking up to bang, bang, bang on the front door. And Ari's like, my head is banging.
What's that noise?
And Ezra's like, mine is too. And then Ari's like, I think that might be the front door. And then you hear through the door, you better get up, Ezra.
Ezra, if you're in there with Ari Quinn, then you better put some pants on and get out here.
Yeah, you better explain yourself. And so he comes in and like Ari is still in his suit.
Yes,
Ezra
rumpled.
Smells like
they
tequila
were drinking everything
and beer.
all night. And so Ezra opens the door and he's like, hey, what time is it? And he's like, 6. He's like, God, I've only had like 3 hours sleep. And Anton goes, I haven't had any sleep. He's like, okay, well, I haven't had any coffee. So like, can you wait to yell at me until I have coffee? And Anton's like, he just barges in.
And the reason Aries there at all is because his long distance boyfriend dumped him. Because it's too hard being long distance.
Yeah.
And so they sat up all night complaining about their boyfriends.
And he knew, like, Ezra is the only guy he knew was out. So then Anton comes in, he sees this, and he's like, all I had to do was confirm it. Fuck you, and fuck you. Like, all you had to do was tell me you were going to hook up with someone else because I trusted you. And then Anton goes over and just, like, puts his arms around his waist and giggles.
Ezra does.
Ezra does. And Anton's like, oh, you think this is funny? And Ezra's like, yeah, kinda. Like, look at Quinn. Does he look like he's had a 6-hour fuck fest? Like, no.
He's still in a suit. Anton.
We're both in our suits. Like, all we did was drink. And even in this moment, Quinn hesitates and Ezra looks over at him and nods encouragingly because Ezra really is like the father figure of the queer collective. Like he's the crazy uncle of the queer collective. I was just gonna say,
I don't know that father figure.
Yeah.
Is what I call him, but he's like...
I think in like the 6th or 7th book, there's a scene in which Ezra's trying to educate the baby gays, even though like they've done stuff and they're fine. And so he's trying to explain something. He's like, hold on. And he goes into the kitchen and later on, you see Anton come in and go, is there a reason that my husband is whittling a carrot into an uncut penis? And they're like, what? He said he needed a visual aid. So like Anton goes over and like takes the arts project away. Anyway, so like that's who Anton is, but Ezra. But he looks over at Quinn and he nods encouragingly, and that's when Quinn is finally like, my boyfriend broke up with me. And Anton's like, and you went to Ezra for relationship advice? And Quinn is like, he's the only out guy I knew. Like, I thought I wanted to figure out what to do. And then Anton goes, oh God, he didn't tell you to drunk text your ex, did he? And then Ezra cracks up and he's like, I actually think I did at one point. It's the best.
And Quinn's like, I was smart enough and not
I was not that
enough
drunk. Yeah.
to do that.
He's like, but
So
I'm
it's
gonna
fine.
go, but really nothing happened. And like, you know, and
God.
Anton says, I know, I trust Ezra. And Ezra goes, yeah, I really got that impression when you were banging down my door. And Anton goes, well, now you told me, and so I trust your word. Like,
Yeah. Well, and the reason that he was so insecure about it, they get talking about that, and he's like, I don't want to share you, and also, I'm falling for you. No, Ezra says that.
Yeah. Ezra says that. He says, I had a realization because I was talking to
Yes.
Quinn and he was complaining about his boyfriend. Oh, because he says, we were just complaining about our boyfriends all night. And then Anton goes, boyfriend? And he's like, yeah, that's the epiphany I had. Like, I looked at Quinn and I was like, I don't want that to happen to us because we're together, right? Like, we haven't said the words, but like, if you take the good luck out of it, we're together. We do everything together. And like, we're boyfriends, right? Like, I want to be. And then Anton's like, yeah, we're super boyfriends.
And then
they
Ezra
tell
says,
each other that they're
I'm
love
falling
each other.
for you.
Yeah.
Anton sucks in a short gasp. I can't tell if it's genuine or sarcastic. I broke you. He says, sarcastic it is. Oh my God. But then Anton does pick it up and he's like, I love you too. Like, I'm falling for you too. I do want to be together with you. And Ezra is so sweet because he says, I don't care if you come out. I don't care if you don't come out. I don't care when you do or don't. I just want to be with you. Like, we can continue with exactly what we've been doing. And Anton isn't ready right now. But oh gosh, it's just so sweet. And so Ezra is like, he admits that he wanted Anton to fight for him the night before and kind of explains like what happened. And Anton is basically telling him like, I came back, even though like, because I could see that you were hurting. I could see that something had happened. And I just wanted to tell you.
I knew you were pushing me away.
Yes, and he was like, I was insecure though because I didn't know where I stood, and it was our first
Yeah.
game of bad luck after having sex.
Oh,
And then Ezra said, it was misplaced anger from the game and my dad and the fear that I was going to lose you. I didn't have the courage last night to put my feelings on the line, but I'd rather tell you 1,000 times and have you reject me than lose you because I didn't have the guts to say 6 simple words. I want to be with you. I lower my forehead to his. I'm sorry. Anton breathes in and closes his eyes. That is the hottest thing you've ever said to me. Their foreplay is shit stirring.
it's so good.
They're such little shits. Now Anton though has decided that he doesn't want to hide it. He doesn't necessarily want to like be all over. He doesn't want to make a press release or anything like that. But he has decided that he is coming out. And so he tells Ezra, hey, I need to go do something for the afternoon, but I need you to get all dressed up and snazzy in one of those stupid suits that nobody should look sexy in, but you look super sexy in.
Mm-hmm.
When Anton comes to pick him up, Ezra is wearing a blue velvet suit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Anton has told him to get dressed up because he's taking him to a restaurant for a romantic dinner in public.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get there and hold hands and it's sweet and Ezra's shocked but so happy and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the nothing
Just
in the
like
media.
when they danced, everything's the same. It's like all speculation, nothing else. And he's like, what do we have to do? Have sex in public? And Ezra's like, now, I'm like, oh, now hold on here. Go with me just for a minute. Like, we might not have to have sex in public. You could just tell people with your mouth parts.
But like sex in public can be.
Yeah.
like-
He's like, I really don't want to get arrested, but like, you know, we could. And then he's like, what about sex tape? And Anton's like, no, I'm not into that. I just want it to be organic. I don't want it to be a big deal.
Yeah. And also before this date, part of what he had to take care of this afternoon is he just goes straight to that coach. He goes to the coach of the team, hasn't talked
Yeah.
He's like, hey, bud, I just feel like I need to let you know something because I am about to do something about it.
I'm coming out
You should be
soon.
prepared. I'm coming out. Also, I'm dating Ezra.
Oh, no, that's not how it happens. It's the best. He says, but it might be a PR nightmare. And he's like, it's nothing illegal, right? Because like, we're not going to stand behind you if it's illegal. And then he's like, no. I mean, you never really know with Ezra. And he's like, Pulaschuk, why would he be? Oh, are you two sleeping together? And then Anton goes, I don't know how it works in your house, coach, but that is something I like to do with my partner. And then he's like, oh my God, you're dating?
Oh my God. And then he also calls his parents to let them know. And
Yeah.
he tells them, and his mom is like, oh my God, I'm so excited and happy for you. When do we get to meet him? And Anton's like, I mean, you kind of already know him.
Kinda.
And they're like, we do? And he's like, Ezra Pulaschuk? That
And
word.
they're like, the guy you hate? He's like, hated. Hated past tense.
And his dad just says, oh. And then his mom says, so the tabloid gossip is true? And he's like, Ma, you read that trash? And she's like, well, it's about my son.
Yeah.
Like, hello. But
Yeah.
most importantly is at the end of this, his dad says, good luck. And he says, I don't need luck. I have Ezra.
Yeah. So then they go out, nothing happens, and then they have this incredible game. They are playing like crazy. I think he gets like his 5th hat trick of the season or something nuts. Anton does. And Ezra's out there just being an assist all the time. He's doing all the things. It's just melding, right? So they get called into a press conference together and they're sitting there and the people are like, oh, yeah, do you think you might break some records? And Ezra makes like a throat slashing motion. And he's like, hey, don't jinx the man.
Yeah.
And Anton reaches over and grabs his hand and says, you're going to have to excuse my boyfriend. He's the superstitious type. And then there's like this silence. And Ezra looks over at him And Anton just reaches over and closes his mouth because he's like mouth hanging open.
Just clicks that jaw shut.
Yeah. So everybody's like, wait, so you're dating? Does that mean you're gay? And he's like, yes, I'm gay. Anton and I are together, and it's not going to impact our hockey play at all. We're both professionals. We're playing the best hockey of our lives, of our whole careers right now. Everything's, going to continue working.
That's all I'm going to confirm. It's our private relationship.
Yep.
They get into the locker room.
Uh-huh.
And then we have a very adorable back and forth with the captain of the team, Dietrich.
Yeah.
Because Dietrich's teasing expression turns serious. I'm not saying this to be a dick, but I am worried. Yeah, I get it, I said. We have history. That makes it hard, but if it helps, I'm prepared to stick it out for as long as he'll have me. In that case, you better not die first, because I won't be done with you. And then things will get dark, Ezra said.
That's Ezra. Yeah.
Maybe I should... This is Anton. Maybe I should have said for as long as he'll have me or I die, whichever comes first. And then Dietrich looks at him and says, I'm guessing you feel the same, Ezra? He looks at me. I mean, you have a nice butt.
You have a nice butt.
And Anton says, a nice butt? And Ezra says, and I suppose it's sort of cute when you get those frown lines when you're thinking, did you just say I have wrinkles? Don't be stupid. The wrinkles are around your mouth. And then Anton says, amendment number 2 is as long as he'll have me, I die. Or he gets so annoying that I spontaneously combust. And then
Ezra's
Ezra
like,
nods.
yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh my God. And then they confess their love to each other's beautiful faces.
Yeah, afterwards he says, I was serious, right? I'm in this forever. And then Ezra's like, yeah, I was
Ezra's
serious
such a little
too.
shit.
You do have a nice butt. He's like, Ezra. And he says, I love you. And then Ezra says, I love you too.
And Ezra's, well...
Say what actually happened, Sabrina.
Okay. So Anton says, Ezra. And he says, I love you. And Anton says, I love you too, right? And Ezra
Yes.
says, actually, I do. And I've never said that before because it's not something I feel lightly. And I never let myself be vulnerable around people. But I let you see all that. And it doesn't make me embarrassed. You don't make me feel like I need to hide that side of me or be someone else. You and me, Anton, we don't need to justify this for anyone else because we know what it is. Oh, yeah? And what's that? And then Ezra, no hesitation, says, forever.
Forever. It's forever.
You might not be a tech genius, but you want your business to crush it, and you need a website now. Thankfully, Bluehost makes it easy. Customized, optimized, and monetized. Everything exactly how you want with AI. Your site can be up within minutes. You really won't believe it. The search engine tools even help you get more site visitors. Whatever your passion project is, you can set it up with Bluehost. With their 30-day money-back guarantee, what have you got to lose? Head to Bluehost.com to start now.
And so the epilogues are them winning the Stanley Cup. Hello.
Yes. Oh my God.
Then the next scene is them that night inducting Anton into the queer collective.
Yes.
And it sets up book 2.
I just need to tell you 2 more things.
Please.
I'm so sorry.
No.
So they are getting ready to play. They are doing all the thing. I don't remember exactly when this happens, but I think it's in the locker room. It doesn't matter. Because Ezra's thinking, in the last couple of months, I've realized I'm worth more. People always make a big deal about not turning your back on your family. You respect your elders, yada yada. And he says some more stuff. But then he says, I don't know why people do it. I can't believe I did it for so long. I'm worthy of healthy relationships. It is possible to love me.
Oh.
And then they win the Stanley Cup, and on the ice, Anton flies towards Ezra like a bull on skates. We almost topple over when we slam into each other, but somehow we manage to stay upright. Then Anton does something he's never done before.
Oh.
He kisses me in front of 20,000 people and a shit ton of cameras. What do you do when your lifelong dream comes true? You create new dreams.
Stop it.
Ezra!
This whole book. That's a whole book.
Eden! Saxon! How dare you?
How dare you? Yeah, so they induct Anton into the queer collective. It sets up book 2, which is Trip and Dex.
Mm-hmm. There will be a squeepisode.
God, that might be my favorite book. I don't know. I don't know.
I can't say which
Alex,
one. I can't say which one's
pretty
my favorite
good.
yet because I'm only on Gabe and Alex, but like...
Oh, God. Gabe and Alex's book is so good.
Mm.
Yeah, so, wow. I'm obsessed with this series. I love it so much. I don't know if I made that clear at all in this episode.
So sorry. I just have one last thing to say.
Okay, please.
It's the very end of the book. And it's in Anton's point of view. And he said, I'm so sorry. That's not what he says. I'm saying, I'm so sorry.
Sabrina.
Because Anton says, oh my God, I have goosebumps. That was me again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Anton says,
Dingus.
what's wrong with me, Melody?
I don't know. Did Anton say that or was that you?
That was me. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. It's a rhetorical question, Sabrina.
Anton says, the NHL might be a big part of our lives now, but that won't always be the case. Ezra will be, though. I can feel it. No matter what happens, no matter what we go through, we're going to do it together. Boyfriends who win Stanley Cups together, stay together. That's my superstition, and I'm sticking to it. And the reason that I'm squealing is because that was very cute, but also Trip and Dex won a Stanley Cup together.
They did. Before this book. Yeah.
Also, Ezra and Anton are the first out couple to win.
Yeah.
They've won.
They're the first out couple.
Y'all, I got goosebumps down my whole body right now.
I know.
This is my you earlier. I'm fine.
Everything's great. Okay, Sabrina, what's your lady love?
Oh, I remember.
Okay.
Wow. This is on brand. Because my lady love today is I made a little shopping list. I had 3 things, one of which I did not write down because I said to myself,
there's no way I'll
this
forget
is
this.
so important.
Yeah.
I cannot forget this when I go out.
That should be the first thing you write down, not the thing you don't write down.
I couldn't because I was driving and then I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was hanging out with my friend and I even told her, I was like, this is my shopping list. And I don't remember what the third thing is. I remember that there is a third thing. It is also the most important thing on this list. No idea what it is. And I was fully prepared to suffer. I get to the store. I remembered the third thing.
Hey.
While I was at the store. So I got all 3 things on my list. I remembered something I did not write down. That's my lady love. My lady love is being a bad bitch at having a memory.
Yes.
Sometimes.
A good memory day.
So like I said,
hell yeah.
apropos that I said that was my lady love, didn't write it down and then could not
Didn't remember it.
what it was. But then I remembered it. Anyway, that's my lady love.
I love it. Okay, my lady love is the Valentine's card that Michael got for me.
Oh.
Because it's so fucking cute, and I'm going to frame it.
Okay.
And the reason that I'm doing the lady love is I'm not always like super good. I don't know. I'm always just like so proud of myself when I get like the perfect thing for somebody's sense of humor or, you know, whatever, but it's like pretty hit and miss. And meanwhile, Michael is a stupid head who's good at everything, including gifts and knowing people's tastes and stuff. And so he got me this card from Pale Fox Designs off of Etsy. And the card is a hand-painted thing that says, "Roses are red, foxes are clever, I love your butt. Let me touch it forever.
That
And
is
it's like
very cute.
I know. And it's like a couple with their each hand on each other's butts. And it's so cute. And like it is hand painted and, you know, Pale Fox Designs. You should get it if that's also something
Your
you
vibe.
like. Yeah, if that's your vibe. There's other shit, I'm sure. But like, he nailed it hard.
That is a very cute card. I think the thing I'm most impressed by it is that he was ahead of it enough, on top of it enough to order it in time for Valentine's Day.
I know.
Instead of remembering.
Instead of going out the day of, like his fucking partner did. And the only reason I actually went out the day of is because I knew I wouldn't have time to hand make the card, because normally I hand make the card. And it's not necessarily because I'm like really sweet or whatever. It's usually because I figure out that it's the fucking day before Valentine's Day and I have forgotten to go to the store. And so I have to hand make a card. Otherwise, he'll know that I did not plan ahead at all for Valentine's Day. Holidays are so hard.
Holidays are really hard.
And you know what else? He asked me, I think on Thursday, he was like, oh, are you recording tomorrow? And I was like, no, I'm not. And then I got this like very smug look on my face. And he was like, what's going on? What's going on with your face? And I was like, oh, nothing. It's just, well, I did make sure to block that day off the calendar so that we wouldn't record on it because I did know that it was going to be Valentine's Day. And I thought maybe we could like spend time together. And he's like, you're entirely too proud of yourself about that.
I think the funniest thing about this, listener,
It's because you're the one who told me.
I'm the one who did not schedule us to record yesterday, because I was looking at the calendar and we were going to record Friday. And then I went, oh, wait, hang on. That's Valentine's Day, though. Do you want to, like, not
and then
schedule
I said,
that?
oh, we shouldn't do that. We should do it a different day. So I technically told the truth. I decided, after knowing that it was Valentine's Day, that we should not, because I should probably spend time with Michael.
And you know what? Friends support
That's what
friends.
happened. Yeah.
Friends support friends. So
Thank
as
you.
far as Michael is concerned, you got down on your hands and knees in front of
I
me.
said,
and
Sabrina,
you said,
please.
Sabrina, can you please record the 15th instead of
Do me this giant
14th?
favor. Please.
And
I know
honestly,
you don't want my firstborn. Can I give you something
don't.
else?
I really don't. I will take homemade cinnamon rolls, actually.
Oh, fair. Can I do it with the pizza dough that I make?
Yep.
Yay.
I don't care how you make them. I just want homemade cinnamon.
Man, also, it was yesterday, I think, too, that I told Michael I was going to make pizza for dinner. And then I lost track of time. And at about 5:10, he said, hey, were you going to make pizza? And we normally eat at 5:30, and I hadn't even made the crust. And the crust should technically rise for at least 30 minutes. And I was like, oh no!
Did you make something else, or did you do the thing where you're like, I can definitely fit a 40-minute Netflix episode into 15 minutes?
I did that. It turns out that we ate at 6:30 still, and the crust was pretty dense. So it was pretty dense.
I love you. Talking about
Thankfully,
cinnamon.
My family does too.
Talking about cinnamon
Thankfully.
rolls, though, did just remind me that I have not yet made cinnamon rolls and extra glaze with all of that powdered sugar that I bought.
Oh my God, do it.
I have instead
Do it
been
and send me a picture.
occasionally.
Have you been doing spoonfuls of powdered sugar every once in a while, Sabrina?
Just a spoonful of powdered sugar makes the reality
Sabrina,
go
very
down.
happy. Makes the reality go
Reality feel not so bleak. Reality.
Keep being a badass and love yourself as much as you love figuring out that you're a bit of a gremlin after you start recording.
Love yourself as much as you love saving your friend's relationship, frankly, and then letting her take all of the credit.
Yes. Yeah. Becky, love yourself that much. Okay, bye. Thanks for sticking through that whole mess of glee and giggles. You're a real one. Next week, we'll be back with Bared to You by Sylvia Day. Somehow Sabrina and I both missed this series when it hit Romancelandia, so you're getting our contemporary reactions. Heaving Bosoms is produced by us, Melody Carlisle and Sabrina Bradley. Editing is done by me, Melody Carlisle. Our theme music is by the incredible singer-songwriter Brittany Fonts, and our art is by the ultra-talented author Kate Pryor. If you like our show, remember to follow us on your favorite podcast app, rate us 5 stars, and leave a review. That one small action is a huge way to help the show. If you want to get in touch with us for advertising inquiries or anything else, you can email us at heavingbosomspodcast@gmail.com. If you want more of us, visit patreon.com/heavingbosomspodcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Heaving Bosoms, on TikTok at Heaving_Bosoms, and in our Facebook group, the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult. See you next week.
You might not be a tech genius, but you want your business to crush it, and you need a website now. Thankfully, Bluehost makes it easy. Customized, optimized, and monetized. Everything exactly how you want with AI. Your site can be up within minutes. You really won't believe it. The search engine tools even help you get more site visitors. Whatever your passion project is, you can set it up with Bluehost. With their 30-day money-back guarantee, what have you got to lose? Head to Bluehost.com to start now.